Hey, what's up, guys? Do a thing real quick. uh, we're back in Wrath of Righteous, doing some more auto build judgments. Rocknear, welcome in. Happy that you finally got a notification. I have no idea. Are you talking about like a YouTube notification or like one on the Discord? I am curious. But yeah, today we're going to be going over the Arcanist or Arcanist, the Bard, and the Bloodrager. I know one of those classes fairly well. I know Bard's pretty good. I don't really know Arcanist or Bloodrager very well, so we're going to be taking a look at them. I know Bloodrager is like a mix between Barbarian and Sorcerer. YouTube notification? Okay. I can't help you on that front. I don't know anything about how YouTube's notification. Do you have the... I could say the thing that the other YouTubers say. You gotta click the bell and then make it so that you get all the notifications. Um, yeah, but beyond that, I don't really know how YouTube notifications work or anything like that. I just work here. But yeah, we're gonna start off with the Arcanist. And obviously we're going to stick with Terry. Arcanist. But yeah, I actually know very, very little about this class. So it'll be really interesting to actually finally check it out. Finally actually look at it in quite a bit more detail than normal. I know that a lot of people say that the Brown Fur Transmuter is potentially the strongest buffer in the entire game. Obviously, we're not going to be able to do exactly what Roger just said. Brown Fur Transmuter is better. There is no auto build for any of the there is no auto builds for the archetypes, unfortunately, so we are only going to be looking at the main class. So looking at this caster, okay, so I know so little about this class that I actually have to look. Like, I didn't even know that they were an intelligence-based caster, which kind of makes sense. They are kind of like a wizard, like a cheaty wizard. BAB low, 4 per level. Yep. These all make sense. Oh, they're a spontaneous caster. I did not know that. All right. So ASMR, every class starts off as an ASMR. Emberkin is the only one that gives a bonus to intelligence, so they're going to take that. That makes total sense. Dory's Swordsman. Interesting. We'll play a BFT Lich. It's so strong, I'm not sure I'll be able to play without one in the future. That's how I feel about Legend, honestly. That's legitimately how I feel about Legend. Legend is so strong that anytime I play through this game, I'm like, but what if I go Legend? Like, regardless of class, regardless of my actual build, I'm like, but what if I go Legend, though? It's always going to be stronger. What if I just go Legend, though? So this is a low BAB class. That is taking Aldori Swordsman as their background, which makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Unless Persuasion, is Persuasion not one of the classes? You don't get Persuasion, so I'm curious if they actually take that. Very high charisma for an intelligence-based class. Dex, Con, charisma 16. Do they have something that... Wait. Do they have something that... They have to. They have to have something that scales off of charisma, right? 3 plus half from arcane level. Ah, okay, there it is. There it is. Consume spells. You could use this ability a number of times per day equal to charisma mod. Okay, there it is. Prepared spontaneous caster. You allocate spell slots to a small number of spells, but can cast from them spontaneous. Oh, yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that. Okay, so consume spells. Arcanist exploits use charisma. Okay, so there's that as well. Okay, so there is a very good reason to have a high charisma. That works. Okay. That makes Emberkin a lot better, considering it's boosts both intelligence and charisma, so that works out very well. What do we get? Knowledge Arcana, Knowledge World, Perception, Persuasion, UMD. These are all fine. Yeah, this works out really well. We're getting... These are boosted. This is boosted by your background until you get literally anything that gives you a competence bonus. And then also the background allows us to have this as a class skill as well. So yeah, this works out very well. Point blank strike, or point blank shot, I should say. If you're going for a ray caster, this is very, very important. And it looks like we're getting Acid Jet, which is a ranged touch attack, so that does work with point blank shot. Let me actually... hi. Well, hello, kitty cat. How are you? Let me actually take a look at these, because I don't know a bunch of these. 1d6 points of acid damage, plus the charisma lock. Okay. Most exploits aren't amazing. I feel like just the consume spells is worth having a good charisma. Although, I think I mentioned the same thing last week. I think you could probably swap the dex and con here. Get 14 dex and 12 constitution. I feel like that's probably good enough. I figure you probably don't need that much con as an arcanist if you're going to be like a ranged caster, right? You're not going to be taking too much damage. You're not going to be like the focus of people's attacks. Oh, so these do scale with level. Okay, so they're not just like cantrips. So that's good. I was a little bit concerned that these were just going to be sub. Thank you, Venus. I appreciate the sub. That gets us up to 240, I believe. Which means 60 more, and I will route out a Kingmaker unfair speedrun again. I am on my way, yes. We're getting there. We're definitely getting there. Alright, so here... temporary hit points, gross. Not a fan of things that just give temporary hit points. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, not good. Not good. I'd be very upset if we ever see Arcane Barrier as one of our exploits. Self-effective illusion of armor. Mage armor spell at the caster level is equal to Arcanist level. If the Arcanist already has mage armor active, she instants Shield of Faith spell. Shield of Faith gives deflection bonus, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's been a while. Dimension Slide and Lightning Lance. It's good for Blackwater. Oh, I bet it is, yeah. Used as a move action. Ooh. So move action teleport. That is actually really, really good. Allows you to attack or cast something after you move through it. Very, very nice. Very nice. I appreciate this a lot. It is close range, so it's not quite as I think it, yeah, because Dimension Door is medium range. So it's a slightly shorter range than Dimension Door, but still very, very strong. Energy Shield. Oh, an Illusion Hour. I fucking bet you are. I bet you are. This just, yeah, this is trash. Just get protection from energy. Just get protection from energy, communal, and that overlaps this. Flame Arc is, yeah, it's just a, so there's just going to be one of each of the just one of each of the elements. Acid Jet, Flame Arc, Ice Missile, Lightning, yeah. Plus 1 point of damage per Arcanist level. So it's like a slightly worse version of Magic Missile. Actually, wait, you can get up to 1d4 plus, or 3d4 plus 3 Magic Missiles. And this is 1d4 plus 20 at max level. It's a line attack? Oh, shit. Yeah, that is different. Okay, I did not catch that. I did not catch that. So, I wonder if... Ah! Okay, so this one gets a... This one's a line attack versus this one having a fort save to get sickened. This one has a fort save to avoid staggered. I wonder if this has a thing. Yep. Impaired vision. So you act as if everything is concealed. Okay, so these all have like an extra thing that I did not notice at first. Okay. I like that a lot. It gives it a little bit more flavor, a little bit more to differentiate them from one another. That is kind of one of the things that I'm not a huge fan of for the wizard, like, well, I guess there is only, like, the force. I can't even remember what the hell it's called. The little, like, shitty magic missile that wizards get if they take the evocation school as their specialty. So this actually does do more than magic missile as you get to super high levels. So it's like magic missile is better in the short term. This is better in the long term. Holy water jet. Another line attack. But it's only to creatures that would take damage from holy water. I'm not a huge fan of this one. I feel like just take Flame Arc instead. We already kind of talked about Ice Missile and Lightning Lance. Potent Magic, what's this do? Arcanist spends 1 point from Arcane Reservoir to increase the caster level of a spell. Force Strike. No, it doesn't increase the damage dice, but it does increase the the 1 point of damage, because it's 1 point of damage per Arcanist level. So eventually you can get it up to 1d4 plus 20. So yeah, the damage die stays the same, which is why Magic Missile scales better in the short term. But eventually Force Strike will outstrip it once you get into later levels. Because, like, if you look at it, Magic Missile is, I think it's at level 5. It maxes out at 3d4 plus 3. Instead of this being 1d4 plus 5. So, even if you roll minimum damage at level 5, Magic Missile is going to do 1 more damage than Force Strike. But it's also capped at, was it 15? Yeah, 3 times 4 plus 3, 15. Yeah. So eventually Force Strike will outpace it. Is this just a passive? Because this is incredibly strong. Boosting the DC of your saves is very, very strong. As is, in some situations, boosting the caster level of a spell. So this is a very, very powerful one. It doesn't cost anything extra. It's just, you boost something that you already have, which I like a lot. I really hope that we see this soon. Arcanist can pull a veil of shadows around her, so you gain blur. For rounds equal to 1 plus your Arcanist charisma bonus. So it's only 4 rounds at the moment. But this is still, it's okay. I would definitely take it over like Energy Shield or Arcane Barrier, but just get blur, I feel like. I can't imagine that you don't get access to blur with this class, so I would just take blur instead. Oh. Okay, so this, interesting. So this one doesn't have an extra effect. It's just 1d6 per every 2 levels. Fort save to have the damage. But it is sonic, and most enemies don't have sonic resistance, so you don't have to worry about that kind of a thing, right? Spell resistance 6 plus your Arcanist level. That is okay, but it is a prereq for greater spell resistance, which is 11. So this is like 11 plus your arcane plus your level is fairly, it's like the mid-range, right, for spell resistance. So this isn't bad. This by itself is kind of shit. 6 plus your level. And like the thing is, spell resistance in this game, it's hard to say, because like a lot of the super scary casters are like the bosses, right? Like obviously the one that immediately comes to mind is Arilu at the end, right? And she's like, well, like a level 40 plus creature once you add all of her different levels up. So, and a lot of those levels do go to her caster level. So like spell resistance, a lot of the times I don't really like it that much in this game. Like it's good for the lower level enemies, like the trash that you fight while you're heading to bosses. But against the bosses themselves, which are like the ones that really matter, it just doesn't really do that much, unfortunately. Because their levels are so fucking high, because they're mythic levels, plus their natural, like their demon levels, plus their actual class levels. All that stuff adds to their caster level, as far as I'm aware. I could be misremembering, but if I'm remembering correctly, all of that stuff adds to their caster level. I know the mythic ones do at least. So the caster levels in this game are just so damn high that I'm not a huge fan of spell resistance, but it is definitely better than some of the other things in here, especially once you get that greater spell resistance. Consume magic as a swift action instead of move action. Very, very strong in turn-based, not so much in real time. I've mentioned this over and over and over again. I'm not a huge fan of swift actions in real time. It just adds more micromanagement that you have to deal with when you're trying to handle combat in real time. Then Wooden Flesh gives you natural armor, I'm assuming. DRN. Slashing, where N is equal to your Charisma mod, minimum 1, for 1 minute per Arcanist. Doing your first playthrough with a Ranger Demon Slayer build, basically copying from Mortismal Gaming. Hell yeah. I have not played a Ranger in this game yet. What have I played? I've played a Cavalier Slayer Legend. I played a lot of Sorcerer, a lot of Sorcerer Azada when I was doing speedruns. And my most recent was a Kineticist Aeon into Legend. Alright. So, yeah. This was mainly because I went over these in such detail. Only gives... Oh, it doesn't scale. Oh, it doesn't scale. That's a lot worse. Good point, Rockner. Thank you for pointing that out. Because I would have missed that. Alright, let's take a look at all these spells. So we get a lot of spells. Ear-piercing Scream, very good level 1 spell. Does not get resisted by most creatures. Magic Missile gets resisted by basically nobody. Mage Armor is very good, especially if we do end up getting that armor exploit. Shield is also a very good one. Enlarged and Reduced Person are really good level 1 buffs. I like them a lot. Snowball, Expeditious Retreat. I like that all of these do something different. All of these do something different. We have a save DC spell, we have an auto hit spell, and we have a ranged touch attack that does not get affected by spell resistance. We have 2 buff spells that will buff basically any kind of melee character that we're gonna have. 2 defensive buffs, one that we can cast on other people and one that is only for ourselves, and then this one helps us move around super quick, which not nearly as useful in normal gameplay, but ever since I started speedrunning these games, I love this spell a lot. So yeah, I approve of those spells. We're a Desna person, apparently. And your name is 1. Alright, this is level 1. We finally got through level 1. Took us a half hour, but we got there. Hopefully the rest of this goes quite a bit quicker than level 1 did. Yeah, go away. Alright, so what do we got? 2 other spells. One of them is another one that I started loving a lot more whenever I started speedrunning, Vanish. Although Vanish also has some very good uses in normal gameplay as well. Right. Helps you break targeting. For metagame, Shield and Magic Missile aren't great as first choice because you start with a Shield and Magic Missile scroll you can learn from. Maybe true. Oh, we have access to Grease. I was gonna say, but what other spells would we grab? And I already see 2. Grease and Burning Hands. 100% I would grab those two. If I were not to have shield and magic missile, I would definitely take burning hands and grease. True strike over grease seems very questionable. Oh, it is personal. For whatever reason, I thought that you could cast this on other people. Yeah. Yeah, for an actual, like, full-on caster, which I'm assuming this is gonna go. I'm assuming this is gonna be a full caster and not some, like, weird, like, half and half. Yeah, True Strike is very, very strange. Yeah, that's really weird. Oh, we do get precise shot. Ah! Alright, I'm upset. This is the first choice that I actually, like, actively dislike. As I mentioned, just get protection from energy communal. It's going to do more than this. Like, yeah, it's a couple levels later. We don't get it until level 6, but, like, at level 2 spells, you could still get protection from energy. I really dislike this choice. I would pick almost anything else. Except for maybe Arcane Barrier. Basically, any of these other ones I would choose over Energy Shield. I really, really do not like that. Ray of Enfeeblement instead of Grease. Yeah, it's really bad. The only difference is you get it earlier. That's the only benefit. You get it one level earlier, but if you have, like, an actual wizard in your party, which I guess if you have an Arcanist, you probably won't have a wizard in your party. So it does make a little bit of sense that you would not have access to this yet. But even still, wait one fucking level. You'll be fine. Level 3, you're not really running into that many... You're not even running into that many characters, enemies that... Yeah, I was literally about to say that. Most of the damage isn't even going to be elemental. In fact, outside of traps, the only source of elemental damage that I can think of early game is the water elemental in the basement, and that's optional. There's a few wizards in the market square. That's true, I think, but even if that is the case, I think they spam. Don't they normally just spam magic missile? So this won't even help with that. Yeah, and they're like low level wizards. You could just like flick them in the head and they die. That and color spray. That's fair. What does color spray actually do again? Blinded. Oh, so it doesn't even do elemental damage. There are Brimmeracks in the main square. That's true. That is... Oh, yeah, there is that, like, whole firehouse, right? It's got a whole bunch of fire damage in there. But, like, also, at that point... Even if we grant all of this stuff... Yeah, that's... Afro's on point. He keeps saying exactly what I'm about to say. Even if you do get there by level 3, you can always come back. Like, you don't have to do that at level 3. You can come back at level 4 or level 5 whenever you have access to those other spells. Also, unless you're on, like, a higher difficulty, you can just tank that damage anyway. Like... and you're not going to be doing an auto build on higher difficulties. So we are boosting up our intelligence. I'm very happy to see that. Really? Okay, so this is something that I forgot to check at level 2. Persuasion is the skill that we're not focusing. Not perception, which is the one that's going to be lower than everything else that we have. Persuasion is. That's fucking weird. That's fucking weird. I don't like that a lot. I would much rather have... Ember does have incredibly high persuasion, to be fair. So does Darren. So does Darren. Darren is the persuasion person. And yeah, like neither of these is going to be higher than a full charisma class, right? Like Ember, like Darren, they're always going to outpace you when it comes to persuasion and UMD if they're putting points into them. And I guess perception does have more of a use. Because like once you are second in persuasion, your persuasion is useless. Right? As long as you have a person that is higher than you in persuasion, your persuasion now becomes useless. Whereas perception is always useful because everybody gets a check. So I guess there's arguments to be made to focus perception over persuasion. And then UMD is oftentimes like a personal, like you're casting a scroll or something like that. So UMD is important to keep maxed. So yeah, I guess persuasion is probably the one that you would sack. That does actually make sense, despite the fact that it is a class skill, whereas perception is not. Actually, if that's the case, why did they take the background that gives you persuasion as a class skill? Why not take a background that gives perception instead? That makes me not like the background. I would much rather have a background that gives perception as a class skill. I like the Scorching Ray. I don't like the Bone Shaker. I don't like Bone Shaker. What I would choose instead of Bone Shaker. Do we get Heroism? No, Heroism's a level 3, so we can't get Heroism just yet. Gives perception and bow proficiencies. That actually wouldn't be too bad now. Glitter Dust I like. We could also take any of the animal, the transmutation buff spells, Bull Strength, Bear's Endurance. Any of those, Cat's Grace. Bardless, yeah, we'll be getting to that one later on. Animal aspect is really strong if you have a trip person. You give them gorilla, and then suddenly their trips rolls get a +4, which is incredibly powerful, especially at this low level. If you're not doing that, hell, Sense Vitals. I love Sense Vitals. I love Sense Vitals. Give me that fucking sneak attack damage on my spells, especially with Scorching Ray. Especially once you start getting multiple casts of Scorching Ray. Like right now, we have multiple casts of Magic Missile, but unfortunately, Magic Missile only gets sneak attack damage on the first one, regardless of how many you get. But Scorching Ray, you can get sneak attack. Wait, is it really? Oh shit, it is. God damn. Oh, I know why. I had this on Woljif that I turned into an alchemist. That's why I was thinking animal aspect works on other characters. That's why I thought this worked on other characters, because I always used it on an alchemist. Fuck, even Create Pit. I like Create Pit a lot as well. For defense, Mirror Image or Invisibility. Well, not Invisibility as much as Mirror Image. Glitter Dust, as was mentioned, is very, very good. There's a lot of spells that I would have taken over Bone Shaker. I'm not a huge fan of Bone Shaker as a choice here, but I do love me some Scorching Ray, though. I appreciate this one. All right, what do we get? Spell Penetration at level 5. Web is really good and amazing on tower defense. Yeah. Pit is also really good on Tavern Defense because it just removes people from the fight. Totally. Wet, Pit, and Grease. Oh, Jesus. All three of them? That's fucking just rude. That's just rude as hell. Do we need Spell Pen yet? I would say I would definitely want it by 7. And I would rather get this early rather than late, because, like, the Wizard doesn't get Spell Pen and Greater Spell Pen until 17 and 19. Which is insanity. Absolute insanity. Can't target people in Pit. That's true. But what you can do is you can focus everybody else while those people are in the Pit. And then once everybody else is dead, you just fucking dogpile the people that come out of the Pit. You just blow them the fuck up. Yeah, I think Spell Pen is fine here. So our spells, if we look at our spell list, our spells are kind of all over the place. We got some evocations, conjuration, necromancy. All of our DC spells, they're kind of all over the place at the moment. Most of them are evocation. Like, let's be honest, we got Burning Hands, we got Ear-Piercing Scream, we got Magic Missile, we got Scorching Ray. Most of these are evocation. But only 2 of them require save DCs. The others are Magic Missile, which doesn't, and then Scorching Ray, which is a touch attack. Probably getting Greater Spell Pen. That's what I would assume, yeah. So yeah, my argument here is, do we get Spell Pen first or Spell Focus first? And I think based on the spells that we have, I think Spell Penetration is probably better. So I'm fine with this. I'm fine with Spell Pen here. That works for me. Sonic Blast. How is this different? How is this different? Wait. Oh, no, wait. This is the level 1. This is the level 1 one. Never mind. Never mind. I thought that we had already taken the first level and that this was the second level one. This is fine. I feel like I would prefer Potent Magic, especially since we have both Magic... Well, Magic Missile is maxed out at this point, but Scorching Ray plus a Potent Magic Arcanist, you can get to those extra rays way earlier, right? Like the third Scorching Ray is at level 9. What's the second one? 4 levels, so level 7. So at level 5, if we got Potent Magic, we could be getting 2 blasts from every Scorching Ray cast right now. Well, not everyone, but everyone that we can boost up with the Arcane Reservoir instead of just 1. So I think I would definitely prefer that over Sonic Blast. Another set of D6 if it took Sense Vitals, yeah. Wait. Yeah, we already have 1 offensive exploit, and that's just eating up all of our action economy. Like, we can't do all of this stuff. Also, fuck this one. I hate this one. Just going back to this one right here, it's still shit, and it's going to continue to be shit. Also, we're now level 5, so any wizard that we have in the party now has access to protection from energy communal. Dealing with enemies that have DR against acid and fire. At that point, you have access to Bone Shaker, you have Snowball, you have Magic Missile, you have Ear Piercings. Like, you have access to things. you have access. Like even if there were people that had resistance to fire and acid, which as you mentioned is not really a thing yet. I don't think. I agree. I don't think there's any. There's definitely some Brimmeracks that are immune to fire damage, but you have other options here. You got like I said, snowball, magic missile, ear piercing, scream, bone shaker. You have a lot of other options here, so you really don't need sonic blast. I would much rather see potent magic here. Yeah, yeah. I definitely understand what you're going through. What you're doing here. Let's continue on. Two of the best level 3 spells. I approve. Haste and Fireball. Two of my favorite level 3 spells. Heroism is also an option here. I would probably take Heroism over Haste. Simply because Haste is only rounds per level, which means you're going to require many more casts of this for it to be as useful. But that's basically it for level 3 spells that I would take over the ones that we have here. Leave Heroism a Bard. That is fair if you have a Bard in the party. But this is our main character, which means we would either have to get... we would either have to multi-class or hire a mercenary. Which neither of those options is really something that you can expect a newer player to play. To use, and that's kind of the lens that we're looking at all of these through, is from a new player perspective. At least I try to, because they're the only people that are actually going to be using the auto builds, right? Like you're not going to have a truly seasoned player of the Pathfinder games come in and use auto builds. Yep, there's Greater Spell Pen at level 7. Yeah, they usually... I have yet to see them not follow Spell Pen with immediately up with Greater Spell Pen. So this makes total sense. Wooden Flesh is another one that we mentioned was not as great. Only on Act 2 of Woodard. Would leave Heroism to Darren or Ember. See, the thing is, I prefer to have longer buff spells on the more prepared casters, and then have the shorter buff spells on spontaneous casters. So I would rather have haste on Darren. Well, Darren doesn't get haste, but I would rather have haste on Ember than heroism. Given what you know so far and pull it from Kingmaker, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, pull it from Kingmaker, like mechanics wise, it's the same fucking thing. Ember doesn't get haste? Really? I did not know that. I was unaware. But congratulations, Owlcat. You are continuing the trend of taking shit exploits. Wooden Flesh is probably one of the worst ones that we can get. Again, the natural armor bonus does not scale. So both bark skin and just getting a fucking amulet, because there's not too many amulets that a spellcaster is going to really want. Now, granted, you're not going to want to drop a +2 nat armor amulet on your spellcaster as much as you're going to want to put it on one of your frontliners, right? But even still, bark skin is more than available at this point. It's a level 2 spell, so if you have anybody that can cast it, you're going to be able to put it on this person if you need to. Take fucking potent magic. Take armored mask, for fuck's sake. Take either of these two. Take basically any of these except for this one. Don't take this one. Bad. Displacement I'm perfectly fine with. And resist energy communal I'm also perfectly fine with. Even flame mark because capstone looks cool. Literally anything else. Yeah, exactly. I can't speak on what looks cool because I don't know what they look like. Still boosting up intelligence as is usual. Oh, because we boosted up intelligence. So this is the weird thing. I've noticed this on every character that is an intelligence-based character. At the very least, the first time they boost up their intelligence to the next level, they put their skill points in random skills. They don't max out the skill that's lower, that they are obviously putting points in. They put them in random skills. And I'm pretty sure that the reason is because the way that they have this coded means that they can't put more than 1 point in any given skill on any given level. So I'm fairly certain that what this is it's going up from persuasion, which is why it hits lore, religion, lore, nature, and stuff. That's the best guess that I have, is that it's just going up the line. Because as far as I can tell, this is like, I wouldn't say it's a bug in the game or like a bug in the programming. It's just a quirk of the programming, is that they can't put more than 1 rank in a skill per level, which is why persuasion does go up by 1. It goes up to 5, but they can't put it all the way up to 8 because of the way that it's coded. It's weird. I don't like it, but it is what it is. Dragon's Breath is useless. I don't like it. Why would you take this as one of your level 4 spells? Greater Invisibility I really like, especially if you were to combo it with Sense Vitals. Which obviously they're not doing because they're not taking level 2 spells anymore. Let's see. I mean, obviously protection from energy communal. Stone Skin is an option. Phantasmal Killer is always fun. Dimension Door. Controlled Fireball is one of my favorite spells of all time. Animate Dead if you want extra melee. Love me some Animate Dead. The only summoning spell that's a standard action and not a full round action. I like it a lot because of that. What do you mean I'm offline? And we're back. Hooray! It's so fun whenever I get disconnected for no reason. I tried so many things this weekend to try and fix this, and it just didn't happen. It's super cool. But anyway, Greater Invisibility I like a lot. I don't remember exactly what I was saying beforehand. But yeah, Animate Dead's really good. Controlled Fireball's really good. Dimension Door is really good because we haven't gotten the Dimension Door exploit. Let me get my phone plugged back in. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, because we don't have the Dimension Door exploit, Dimension Door is still viable. Large First Mass saves a lot of level 1 spell slots. Yeah, it's a lot less important if you take abundant casting. Yeah, exactly. And it... I mean, I guess it's not that big of a deal because you could just pull your melee away from the rest of the party and then just cast it on them. Protection from energy communal. Yeah, there's definitely options to take over Dragon's Breath. I'm not a huge fan of Dragon's Breath. Not a fan of it. But we're back. This is trash. Okay. So far we have been focusing pretty heavily on offensive evocation spells. So at this point, we 100% should be getting spell focus. My brain is just like flatlining on a consistent basis today. We definitely should be taking spell focus evocation here. We should not be taking combat casting. It's kind of trash. I don't know why this is... I don't know why this isn't recommended. I feel like this should be a recommended spell. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to just stand there and spellcast while you're being threatened. You're going to try and get the fuck away. And then taking spell resistance here. Again, we just take potent magic, man. Just take the potent magic. Improved initiative would be better. I love me some improved initiative. I agree. But even then, I wouldn't take improved initiative this early. Yeah, the problem with all of these is that none of them are potent magic yet. Because, like, there's not really that many really good... Like, the more that I look at these, the more that I realize there's not really that many great exploits. I think it was Vrock here that mentioned that earlier. It was somebody. It's been like an hour. I can't be expected to remember all the way back then. But I think it was Vrock here that mentioned that there aren't that many great exploits. So like spell resistance is not a bad choice. Swift consume. Yeah, that's fine. Like I mentioned, this is really, really good in turn-based. Not so good in real time. I play in real time mostly, so I'm kind of coming at it from that frame of mind. But yeah, if you're playing in turn-based, Swift Consume is really, really good as well. But now we're over here. Enervation and Overwhelming Grief. If you notice, neither of those were in the list of spells that I was recommending last level. So I continue not recommending them this level. Hell, I would take Bone Shatter over either of these two, because at least this one's guaranteed damage. But yeah. Leaving that one. Alright, back here, we're now taking Acidic Spray, which is a conjuration spell, and Stone Skin Communal, which is a defensive spell. We're not taking Cone of Cold. Which is an evocation spell that does very similar things to Acidic Spray. Yeah, like, so far we've been kind of focusing a lot on evocation spells as our primary source of damage. So taking an acid spirit, all you lose is 2 exploits to buff transmutation spells and cast personal transmutation spells on others. Oh, really? Yeah, that is really, really good. Fire Snake. Although I never take Fire Snake myself. Also, there's a fun thing about this spell. This right here, this is all creatures. Down here, all enemies. I never took this spell. I never took Fire Snake. Because I always read this. But apparently, the actual effect is all enemies. So your allies are safe from Fire Snake, which I did not know for the longest time. Afro, I love Baleful Polymorph. It's how we beat Nyrissa in the Kingmaker speedrun. Because her fort save is trash. It's only like a 24. So we get our transmutation DC up to like 32 or 34. And then we cast it on her, and then we just reload the save if we fail it. Baleful is really good as long as Cone of Cold would be good. Cone of Cold would be the spell that I pick here. It would be Cone of Cold and then something else. Probably Animal Growth. Iravetti? the Kingmaker speedrun doesn't even deal with Iravetti. We just skip that entire chapter now. That game is not well crafted once you start really breaking it. Wrath is far more stable, which is why it's not nearly as good of a speedrun, unfortunately. But I love me some animal companions, so I would probably take Cone of Cold and Animal Growth, because I would have Darren as one of my party members, and I would have taken the I would have gotten the animal companion mystery at this point. So I would be taking Cone of Cold and Animal Growth as my 2 level 5s here. Meta Magic Empower. So we still don't have Spell Focus. It's even better because as we tested before, Arcanist doesn't suffer. What's a good way of getting animal companions for the entire party? I don't really know a way to get it for the entire party unless you build very specifically for that. But for Darren, there is the if you get the second mystery animal, and then you take the I can't remember the revelation. There's a revelation that gives you an animal companion once you get the animal mystery. And then you can get an animal companion, but that one's limited to wolf, I believe. Which is fine because wolves get you trip. But it is very limited on what animal companion you can get. And then with Sela, obviously you can get the horse as you level her up. Actually, let's think about this for a second. How many of our party members can we get animal companions on? Sela, Social, Darren can all get animal companions. Because Social, you can get the animal domain and then get an animal companion through that. Azada Mythic Path, yeah. You can get animal companion through Second Spirit Nature. Oh, really? I did not actually know that. Camellia doesn't live long enough to hit to level 16 for any of my playthroughs, though, so... she ends up dying. But yeah, you can actually get quite a few animal companions. And yeah, Azada Mythic Path. Obviously, you can make, you know, a druid or a cavalier or, you know, a ranger or any of those for an animal companion for your main character, and then also get an Azada, become an Azada so that you can get a second one. Yeah, there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be done. Empower spell. All right. So, as Rockdeer pointed out, this does not increase the cast time. So, Lan and Wendu can multiclass into Hunter fairly well. Yeah, they're low enough level that you're not really sacrificing that much. I would probably swap Wendu over Lan. I don't know if I like meta magics over spell focus. I think I would much rather prefer them getting spell focus evocation at this point, but Empower is a very strong meta magic. I do like it a lot, and it will combo very well with a lot of the spells that we have access to. This does also boost Fireball from 3 to 5. So that does kind of make up for the fact that we don't have a level 5 evocation spell. Why these? What the fuck? Get out of here. I'm not even going to talk about them. Not even going to do it. I refuse. You can't make me. I love me some Hellfire Ray. No, that was Dominate Person and Racking Ray. Is what that was. Yeah. Yeah. Gross. Chain Lightning over Disintegrate? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Exactly. 100%. Because, like, then you have Chain Lightning for big groups of enemies, and then you have Hellfire Ray for single target big enemies, right? So, yeah, these are... Yeah, why would you take 2 single target spells here? And why would you take a Transmutation? Like, this whole... This whole build is just all over the... It's very, very... Like, it's very schizophrenic. It's all over the place. There's no focus on these spells. Like, it was kind of... Like, a lot of the early spells, like, I actually really like their level 1 spell list. Ray of Enfeeblement is kind of but, you know, you take Grease, and there's another one that I can't think of off the top of my head. But overall, the level 1 spells are fine. Level 2, like, Sea Invisibility and Bone Shaker, I would probably replace one of these with Sense Vitals for sure. Cool toys to mess around with, but that should bury... Yeah, but the thing about a very, like, unfocused build is that, again, we have to remember that these are designed for new players or newer players, right? These are designed for players that don't want to make their own builds. This is true, you can learn spells from scrolls, but the base build should be able to work well without them. That's how I'm looking at this. Whatever this build is, it should stand on its own without any other things. Which is why I despised the wizard build. It really pissed me off. The only way the wizard build even works is if you go Lich. If you go anything but Lich, the wizard build just doesn't fucking work. It's trash. It's all over the place. But, yeah. Like, I would be okay if they pick up Disintegrate next level. I'd be alright with that. It's like, hey, you already give me Chain Lightning and Hellfire Ray this level. This gives me 2 very, very strong, very solid spells without a whole lot of bullshit to go with them. Oh, wait, there is one other aspect that we're not considering. We don't have a way to transfer elements to other elements. So, like, if you're an evocation wizard, or like not an evocation wizard, if you're like a dragon sorcerer, or there's a couple of other ways to do it, to focus all of your elemental damage into one element, that's really good to get. Like, it doesn't really matter what spells you get, but we don't have that. Just time for Toughness and Hammer the Gap? Not yet. No, we are Arcanist at this point. So we are currently. Would we normally use meta magic for that? No, it's only class abilities that allow that. So sorcerers can be either elemental or dragon sorcerers. Those both get access to that. There's a wizard archetype that gives access to that. Is Hammer the Gap bad? Hammer the Gap is bad relative to other options in almost every circumstance. Not every circumstance, but almost every circumstance. Legend with full BAB, animal companions with a large number of natural attacks, or a main character who is built around a bunch of natural attacks. The reason that the reason that I hate Hammer the Gap as much as I do is because Hammer the Gap boosts the damage of attacks that are less likely to hit. It makes it so that, you know, when you have a -10 to your strike does +2 damage, kind of a thing. So it's kind of a self-defeating thing, and it only boosts if you continuously hit. Which, if you're continuously hitting, you're most likely going to kill them before Hammer the Gap does any real amounts of damage anyway. Because you are... My brain just shut down. Mainly because I saw Quicken Spell. Exactly, Afro. That's kind of what I was trying to get at, and then my brain just like, nah, we're done. Greater spell resist, meta magic quicken spell. Again, this is fine in turn-based. I really don't like quicken in real time, but in turn-based this is really, really strong. I've mentioned before, in actual Pathfinder, the tabletop, I went into a mirror match against my GM one-on-one, and I beat him because of Quicken Spell. That's a whole fucking story. That's a whole story that I'm not going to get into because we are almost an hour and a half in. Quicken is insane in tabletop. Because tabletop is, well, like a lot of games like this, it's all about action economy. The more actions you get per round, the better. Like Quicken Spell is basically iterative attacks for spellcasters. Is how I look at it. Yeah. Big problem with Quicken is it's very high cost when you can get mana magic rods fairly easily. This is true, but there's only one greater quickening meta magic rod in the entire game, I believe. Wait. I might be thinking of Kingmaker. I think I'm thinking of Kingmaker. Never mind. Greater spell resistance, I approve. If we're going to have spell resistance, we should get greater spell resistance. Also, I did not notice that we got this. I somehow missed this. Dimensional slide. I approve of this as well. Again, actually, not even again. Still, the main problem is we don't have potent magic yet. It's now going to be minimum level 15 before we get potent magic. You can buy one in Illusionara. A greater quicken or just a normal? Got one from Last Arcorians. Wow, really? That's actually really strong. Okay. I approve. We got Elemental Assessor and Phantasmal Putrefaction. These are trash spells. These are bad spells. Don't take these spells. You know what element... So, for those of you who don't know what Elemental Assessor is for, Elemental Assessor is to assess the elemental resistances of your enemy. You know what else you can do with that? Do you know how else you can figure out what your enemy's resist are? You succeed at the check to get the information for those enemies. You just do the thing. You just have a well-balanced party with high knowledges and lores to the point where I don't know if I've ever failed a check to get knowledge off of an enemy when I have my full party, which you're going to have at this point. Um, meaning Elemental Assessor is useless and is very much worse than most other spells. Get you some greater heroism, get you one of these mass animal spells. At least it's evocation, that's true. True seeing. Dispel magic raider is nice. Yeah. There's a lot of things here. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And here we are at level 7. Without the best level 7 spell. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have access to level 7 spells and you do not immediately take legendary proportions, you're playing the game wrong. You are playing the game wrong. This is the strongest buff for melee characters in the video game. Gives them a massive bonus to strength, gives them a boost to their weapon damage, gives them natural armor, gives them DR, gives them reach with their weapons. Like, if you get level 7 and you don't immediately take legendary proportions, you're playing the game wrong. Also, Caustic Eruption is fine. Where you get tons of spellcasting materials. You could buy dinosaur bones. They're dirt cheap. You could, these are dirt cheap. You could buy the fuck out of these. Frightful Aspect is better. Frightful Aspect is also a level 8 spell. So you don't have that yet. Also, so the thing that I don't like about Frightful Aspect, and this is a me. This is a me thing. This is not necessarily something that is the same for everybody. I hate the Frightened condition or the Panic condition. Anything that causes enemies to run away from me, I do not like. Because that can allow them, that can cause them to run into other enemies and aggro them. This comes all the way back from my WoW days, from when I played World of Warcraft a ton. You do not fear enemies because they will run into other trash packs and pull them, and then you're fucking dead. And also, if you have, it's all about the free procs for Shattered Defense, though. So that's fine, but like a lot of times, if you're going for a Shattered Defense build, you're gonna have some way to trigger it as well. Like if, I mean, like you might just build it so that the only trigger is Fearful Aspect, but then you're not getting your trigger until you get to level 8 spells, which is at minimum level 15. If that's your only trigger for Shattered Defenses, then you're waiting a very, very long time to be able to use that. Most of those builds have some other way to trigger it. Dreadful Carnage, you know, Cornigan Smash, any of those. It is guaranteed this is true. And like I said, I use Frightful Aspect. I use that spell. But, as was also mentioned, it's personal, normally. So you can't use that on everybody. So you might get the fear aura, but you won't get the other buffs. So legendary proportions is still going. Hey, look at that. We get it. We get it. Oh, what the fuck? Well, apparently, Matt, you weren't too far behind when we pick up toughness on a spellcaster that still doesn't have spell focus. We still don't have spell focus. We don't have a single spell focus. There it is. Build save. Fuck off. God damn it. I don't hate toughness. I do hate toughness. I was never a fan of toughness, but these auto builds have made me hate toughness. Also, we got lingering acid instead of potent magic, which I'm still mad about. I don't care. By the way, this only... Fuck. So, the only way that this does more damage is if it fails its saving throw, which is a fort save. And fort saves are not the ones that you want to be going up against in this game, because most demons have very high fort saves. Also, we still don't fucking have potent magic, so I'm mad. You get Ice Body and Legendary Proportions. Legendary Proportions very good. Ice Body is okay. The thing that is scared, don't have improved initiative. Very, very rarely have I seen improved initiative taken in any of these builds. Very, very rarely. I do not have... I've just given up. It's kind of like the teamwork feats. You never see teamwork feats in any of these auto builds. I've kind of given up on seeing improved initiative as well. They almost never take it. The vulnerability to fire scares me on these, which is why I usually don't recommend taking Ice Body or Fiery Body. But this does give you a lot of bonuses and a lot of immunities. So it is really good. It's just I'm super scared of fire damage. Exactly. There's a lot of demons in this game. A fair number of them use fire. It's a scary proposition. Yeah. Wait. These went from 1 to 3. Wait. And this is now only 1 behind instead of maxed. What the fuck? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not getting into that. Oh, I know, Matt, but we were trying to figure out exactly how the game is programmed to put these points into the skills earlier. And my thought process at the time was the game is programmed in such a way that it can't put more than 1 point into any skill on any given level. That was kind of the thing, because on these levels where we get a boost to intelligence, it doesn't max out the one that we have, the one that we've already been focusing on, and then putting extras into other levels. It just puts extra points into these other levels. And I'm just I don't understand. I don't fucking get it. So we're just going to ignore it. We're just going to pretend like it's not a thing and we're going to ignore it. We get 2 level 8 evocation spells. Neither of them is frightful aspect. We don't get angelic aspect. We don't get mind blank. We don't get protection from spells. Sea Mantle, Storm Bolts, Sunburst. Like, of all of the level 8 spells, Polar Ray and Greater Shout are probably not the ones that I would take. There are a lot of options that I would take over Sunburst, Storm Bolts. If we're going for evocation damage spells, Storm Bolts and Sunburst is what I would take. Sea Mantle is an incredibly powerful defensive spell. Never use the Shouts. Shouts are really good because most enemies don't have sonic resistance. And I think Greater Shout has a stun. Yeah. So Greater Shout also has a stun potential, which is nice. So there are reasons to use them. They're not bad spells at all. But these are two... Oh, no, wait, it is a cone. I thought that these were two single target spells. Yeah. Not great, though. Honestly, what I would probably do is I would probably get Frightful Aspect and Storm Bolts. Or Sunburst. Dex Drain is a nice debuff. Yeah, but it's not very much. Yeah. Take a better Evo spell and kill them so their dex goes to 0. That's very true. And again, a lot of the super dangerous enemies, especially in the very late game, they don't have... Like, lowering their dex isn't going to do a whole lot. Their dex isn't low enough that you're going to be able to kill them via dex drain. And it's not high enough to really want to prioritize them to, you know, increase the chances of a touch attack hitting. A lot of the super scary enemies have, like, insane amounts of natural armor. And deflection, not deflection. Is it just deflection armor bonus? For whatever reason, my brain's just like... It is deflection. Okay. But like dex, dropping their dex is not really... It's not a priority. It's not bad, but it's not a priority. Three different natural armor categories, yeah. So we're just... This is a spellcaster that doesn't get spell focus. I fucking hate it. And it's boosting up the highest save in the class. I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this. We're probably never going to get Potent Magic. We get Force Strike, which at this point, yeah, you're going to do more than Magic Missile. We're going to do more damage than Magic Missile, guys, with this Force Strike that we're getting here. Super fucking important. You get Iron Body and Soul Reaver, which are not useful. Not relative to the other things that we can get. Guys, you get a +6 to your strength and a -6 to your dex. Guys, you want to drop your dex on this Raycaster? Boost up your strength on this spellcaster class? Could have taken Frightful Aspect again. Mind Blank, Sea Mantle, Storm Bolts, Sunburst, all of these. Fuck, at this point, Iron Body and then go back and pick up Transformation from level 6. Become a full-on fucking melee sorcerer Arcanist. Going Necro to play Lich. That's kind of like, honestly, that's kind of what we started going for with the Wizard, because the Wizard just had a bunch of random fucking Necromancer spells mixed in, which is one of the reasons that I was saying that the Wizard only works if you go Lich. I feel like it's the same with this class. This class only really works if we go Lich, and if we also use multiple mythic feats just to get spell focus and greater spell focus. The fact that this is a spellcaster class a spellcaster class with a large number of DC based spells as our damage dealers that doesn't have fucking spell focus. Hello, kid. Shelby decided that I was getting a little bit too loud. Calm down a bit. Want to go blaster, but then they got distracted. Yeah, like I mentioned this earlier. Like this class is very schizophrenic. Like it's just fucking all over the place. And then improved on, yeah, like I feel like these, you know, there's two other paired feats that I feel like would go very well in this build over in Iron Will and improved Iron Will. I feel like the high will save class doesn't need more will saves. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing that out there. We get Shadow Veil. So we now have Blur. Guys, we got access to a level 2 spell with our final arcane exploit. We never got Potent Magic. We never got Armored Mask. You know, the two... We never got Swift Consume, for those of you who use turn-based. Got Mind Blank Communal. That's a good spell. I like me some Mind Blank Communal. Wail of the Banshee isn't bad. But it is, again, it's a necromancy spell, so, you know. Get you some lichness in your life, I guess. And level 20. Boost up that intelligence to 25. Super useful. Hold monster mass and power word kill. Didn't even get icy prison mass. So we have no evocation level 9 spell. Not a single one. Alright. Overall, looking at this build, it's kind of bad. It's kind of really fucking bad. Yeah, no level 9 spells. No level 9 evocation spells. Specifically, no Icy Prison Mass, which is my favorite level 9 evocation spell. Starts off good. Still fine. I really hate Energy Shield. Sonic Blood. Let's see. Of all of the... Is Wish in this game? No, it is not. No, we got Dimension Slide. We got Dimension Slide at 11. Yeah. I kind of skipped over it. I missed it entirely. Let you consume those level 9 spells for more useful low-level spells. Oh, Jesus. Arcanist can learn spells from scrolls, yes. But, like, the problem is we are missing out on the strongest, potentially the 3 strongest arcane exploits. We don't have Potent Magic, we don't have the Swift Consume, and we don't have the Armor one. So we're missing out on the 3 strongest exploits. Instead, we're getting Magic Missile Plus at level 17. We're getting Blur Plus at level 19. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. Yeah, this build is not good. Now, as mentioned, this can be saved. This can be saved with a Lich. If you go Lich, this build could actually be pretty decent. Combining the spell books get you a lot of extra spells that you could choose. The only downside is we don't have a way to get potent magic. Unless... Is there a thing that allows you to get... No, it doesn't look like it. Decent isn't carried by Lich? Yes, very much so. Just like the Wizard. The Wizard was actually really fucking bad. Is there not an extra... Interesting. Almost every other class has like an extra fucking Huh. You can't take another arcane trick. Oh well. All right. Well, that's the Arcanist. Not a fan. We are now going to have to Alt F4 to kill it, and then bring it back up. Phasma's got another update. BFT is just better. Extra Mythic is full reservoir. Yeah. Didn't even think you would need an extra exploit. I mean, like, if the game was halfway decent, you wouldn't. There it is. Like, the build just didn't take the one that you wanted. Alright. But enough about that trash. I'm not talking about it anymore. I don't want it. You can't make me. We're talking about the bards now. They desecrate bard. Alright, so Aasimar, as always, Muse touched, Dex, and Charisma. I like that. I like that a lot. Another regional, Andoran Diplomat. Persuasion, and a +2 to diplomacy. Don't hate extra performance, but lingering is better. You're getting ahead of us, Afro. Can't be doing that. It's cheating. It's like one of those tests. Like the standardized tests where you're not supposed to look ahead. Can't look ahead of the class. This is a very fucking weird build. This is a really weird build. It's literally just Dex and Charisma. There's nothing else. I probably would have dumped Strength because you're probably not going to go Strength with this build. What are Bard's saves? Low, high, high? Yeah, I would probably get intelligence at least up to 13 to gain access to all of the feats. Yeah, I would drop strength to 7 and boost intelligence to 13. That's like, but I mean, like, that's a very minimal thing, I think. It's a bit squishy, but that's not necessarily... Yeah, I kind of look at bards as ranged characters, so I'm not overly worried about their constitution that much. Carrying capacity hurts. Carrying capacity only hurts if you don't have animal companions. Once you get animal companions, that shit don't matter at all. Especially once you get up to past, like, level 7. Once you get past level 7, like, you're never going to get past light encumbrance again. Personal carrying cap. That's fair. But even then, a lot of times, like, especially with high dex characters, you're not going to want, like, heavy armor or anything like that. So the carry capacity isn't going to be that big a deal. One skill hat and Kingmaker. I think I remember that one. I can't remember where it is, but I think I remember the one you're talking about. So knowledge, arcana, and world, that makes sense. Persuasion and UMD, that also makes sense. You get a lot of bonuses to persuasion from your class, or from your background and your racial. Oh yeah. Oh, you got a bunch of backup weapons. Yeah, that's the thing. Yep. Plus 200. Oh yeah, I remember that one. I remember that hat. Extra performance. I do like extra performance. So lingering performance. The problem with lingering performance that I'm not a huge fan of, I think lingering performance is objectively better than extra performance in turn-based. Again, in turn-based, I think lingering is better than extra. Main reason being is that, again, it's a very... Did I disconnect? Or is OBS is just being... No, it looks like it probably disconnected. What the fuck is even happening? All right, are we actually back? Yeah, that was really weird. So I never fully disconnected, but my upload went to 0 and then jumped up to like 14,000 kilobytes per second. Which is more than twice my normal bitrate. My normal bitrate is 6,000. Lingering versus extra. Lingering, I think, is better for turn-based. Extra is better for real-time. That's the quick and dirty. If you are hyper fixating on micromanagement, lingering is going to be better in every case. But extra is going to be better if you don't want to deal with that. Basically. Cure light wounds and ear piercing scream. I'm okay with that, actually. Gives you access to, like, there's not actually, well, okay, let's think about this. Sela has lay on hands once you hit level 2, which is fairly early. If you have experience focused only on active party members, you can get to level 2 by the time you hit the village. So you have a source of healing there. Camellia has heal light wounds or cure light wounds. Lean towards action economy a lot. Yeah, for sure. Do we need cure light wounds? It's an extra source of healing, but you already have basically 2 sources of healing between Sela and Camellia. And instead of cure light wounds, we could get grease, hideous laughter, Sleep. I would probably get Grease instead. Either Grease or Hideous Laughter. I would probably swap out Cure Light Wounds for either Grease or Hideous Laughter. The reason that I'm a little bit hesitant on Grease is because your party members also would have to... Because, like, think of your party at this point. You have Sela, Camellia, and then Lan and Wendu. And then either Lan or Wendu, right? So Sela is gonna fall every time she touches that Grease pile. Her reflex save ain't shit. Until she hits level 2. So I think we would save Grease for level 2. So I think what I would do is I would get Ear Piercing Scream and Hideous Laughter for level 1. And then get Grease for level 2. Is probably what I would do. Anyway.
A test of my ability. Follow if you dare.
Not a bad... Like, overall, the level 1 is fine. I am perfectly fine with it. Overall. It's just that one thing. It's like, could be a little bit better. Could be a little bit better. Combat Trick. We get Point Blank Shot. I'm fine with this. Actually, am I fine with this? Let's see what we got. Canny Observer. We don't get Perception anyway. Actually, yes. I am perfectly fine with... I'm perfectly fine with going for a Combat Trick and getting Point Blank Shot. The only other thing would be potentially Weapon Focus, but I'm okay... I'm okay with, easier to have them not walk in the grease, yeah. Words. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Basically. Hideous Laughter, yeah, I like Hideous Laughter a lot on a bard. It's a really good spell. Especially if you get the mythic to make it basically a chain. Hideous Laughter is useless for level 1. But we are now level 2, so we are now fighting cultists, and because we're at this point we would be in the maze, right? So at this point we would be fighting cultists and like Arcane Strike over anything else for combat here. The problem with Arcane Strike, Arcane Strike is only really useful incredibly early on in the game. Why am I losing so many frames? What the fuck? Hello? What's happening with my stream today? This is really kind of frustrating. The game itself is acting really weird today. So okay, let's look at Arcane Strike. Swift action each round. So you're using your swift action every round, which is not ideal. It's a +1. It is treated as magic for the purpose of overcoming DR, which a +1 weapon will do regardless. Because +1 weapons are magic. So another thing is, do you have access to it? All right, so a bard themselves do not have access to magic weapon, but if you just have magic weapon as one of your level 1 spells, that will do the same thing. Also, we get both extra performance and lingering performance, so we get the best of both worlds. It does increase every 5 caster levels you possess, but so this is a enchantment bonus, if I'm not much mistaken, which means that this will not stack with the +1, +2, +3 on your actual weapons themselves. So as soon as you get a +1 weapon, this is null and void. If you have a +2 weapon by level 5, this is still null and void. If you have a +3 by 10, +4 by 15, +5 by 20, this weapon, this feat doesn't really do that much. But yeah, what we do pick at level 3 though is Lingering Performance, which I'm perfectly fine with. Remove Fear is a very good. Camellia also has magic weapon.
Okay.
Yeah, so from level 1 you have somebody who has magic weapon. Yeah, the main thing, Afro, is that it doesn't stack with the enchantment bonuses that come on your weapons already. The game will either pick one or the other. Well, they don't stack. It'll just pick whichever is highest and go with that. That's the main thing, is that it doesn't stack with your plus, you know, you have a +2 crossbow. And there is a good number of decent crossbows throughout the game, so unless you have a lot of people in your party that are using crossbows consistently. Don't like Lingering and Extra. Yeah, Lingering, yeah, going back to the actual feats that we're taking, Lingering and Extra is a bit excessive, I think. I don't think that there's really a playstyle that would require both of them. So yeah, I'm not an enormous fan of both of these. I was kind of trying to be positive earlier, saying you got the best of both worlds, but seems overkill. Seems overkill. Especially since we don't have precise shot yet. So we're still taking a -4 every time we shoot into melee combat. We're going Charisma, not Dex. I was curious which one they were going to go with. Glitter Dust and Heroism is level 2. I'm perfectly fine with this. Getting Heroism as a level 2 spell is very, very strong. Most of the time it's a level 3. Are we back? It looks like we might be back. 1 second. Successfully completed. Or connected. That word. Alright. I'm very sorry about all the disconnects tonight. I don't know what's going on. I spent a large amount of time over the past weekend doing every fix that I could possibly think of to get this working consistently again, and apparently it just didn't fucking work. But yeah, Glitter Dust, Heroism. I'm very okay with these. Although it is a little bit strange that we went for Cure Light Wounds, but not Cure Moderate. I would be very surprised if Cure Moderate Wounds is not picked up by the time we get through our level 2 spells. But for our first two, I'm perfectly fine with Glitter Dust and Heroism. Oh, I agree. I would just be very surprised if we don't get Cure Moderate Wounds at some point. Yep, there it is. There it is. We got there. I would argue that we are roughly 3 levels late on Precise Shot. Honestly, what I would do is I would get Point Blank Shot here, Precise Shot here, and then either Extra or Lingering Performance here, and then another feat here. I wouldn't get both of these. But the fact that we now have Precise Shot, I'm very, very happy with. And then yeah, there's that cure moderate wounds that I was expecting. All right. Fucking what? Guys, I would like to point out the fact that we neither have a bonus to wisdom, nor are we putting any ranks into perception. So why the fuck did we get a perception boost here? Why did we get a perception boost here? Why are we not getting a combat trick? Why are we not getting skill focus? Uncanny dodge? Actually, no, don't take uncanny dodge. We're a ranged character. Like, why would you take why would you take Canny Observer when we have no perception? Yeah, if we had perception, I would be 100% down with this. Perception bonuses are really good. All the time, forever. I like perception bonuses if we are getting perception. And it's not like we are an intelligence-based class where we are going to get more points later. We are only getting these 4 skills the entire way through. We are never going to get a perception. We're never going to put ranks into perception in this entire build. So why Canny Observer? Lore nature should be so if we're looking at this, I guess intelligent ones are both 10s. It depends on what your other party is, what the rest of your party is, right? You mean then in Kingmaker? It definitely is, because Lore Nature allows you to avoid combat, random encounters in Kingmaker. Religion is good to have on Bard, since they're usually the one handling that. Who else has Lore Religion? Yeah, I gotcha. I'm actually not against only taking these. The only reason that I would say don't take UMD or Persuasion is if you're going to have somebody else that's better at Persuasion than you are. Darren, Ember, any of those other high charisma characters. But with all of the bonuses that we get between the Muse Touched, Racial, and the just having a really high charisma in general, I'm kind of okay with focusing Persuasion on this character. And UMD. There's other characters that we could focus UMD with, so we could swap one of these to nature or religion. Don't like Darren? I avoided using Darren in my very first playthrough, and then I realized that he's just too damn good. You're just doing so much singing. Yeah, but this isn't even a feat. I mean, it would be if I was building this, but... What makes him good? Spontaneous caster. He's a very high charisma character, which means that he gets a lot of channel positive energies. Oracle allows him, as I mentioned earlier, you can get an animal companion on him, which is another frontliner. And that animal companion is a wolf, which means that you will be getting trip attacks for free. He gets a ton of spell slots because of his very, very high charisma. He is the best, and I much prefer spontaneous casters over prepared casters. That is a me thing. But I do definitely prefer him over Social, in that light as well. He's just going to be a better healer than Social can ever be, because of his super high charisma, giving him an absolute fuck ton of channel positive energies per day. We get Sound Burst, which I don't actually... I don't know if I would ever use this over, like, Glitter Dust, because that blind is permanent. So you're never going to have to deal with this, and that is a will save versus a fort save, so you're going to be more likely to get this to... Oh, Eagle Splendor. Yeah, that's also true. You could also get Sense Vitals. I don't think it Sense Vitals. Circlet, you get early, that gives your performance a scaling fast healing. So the thing about fast healing is that once you get past Dresden, you're going to have fast healing for most of the game moving forwards. As long as your characters are within an area on the map that you have reclaimed with your army, you're going to have fast healing on your main character regardless. Yeah, I always mention Sense Vitals because I love that spell, but yeah, it is definitely worse on a bard than it is on like a Raycaster. I just like it a lot, alright? Mirror Image. Mirror Image for defense. Eagle Splendor. Cat's Grace. Blur. There's a lot of spells that I would take over Soundburst. I'm not a huge fan of that, but what are you gonna do? Alright, now we get Rapid Shot. Okay. Take Feather Step. I really don't like Feather Step as a spell here. You don't really have... Like, what difficult terrain are we even dealing with? Like, what even are we dealing with here? Difficult terrain-wise. We don't have any way to give ourselves difficult terrain. Yo, Igor, what's up, my dude? How you doing? Expeditious Retreat over Feather Step, definitely for sure, but I think I would take things like Grease or Vanish before I would take either of those two. Yeah, we still don't have Grease, so that's not great. However, I am a very big fan of both of these spells as our level 3. Good Hope is an insanely good and cheap spell. Haste is also insanely good. Good Hope, so it's saving throws, attack rolls, ability checks, skill checks, and weapon damage. So Good Hope basically overrides Heroism. Because they are both morale bonuses, so they don't stack. How's Arcanist? Arcanist was trash. Arcanist started off mediocre and went worse from there. Good Hope stacks with your bardic performances. Does not stack with Heroism. Greater Heroism gives better bonuses than Good Hope does to some things. So it's good to have Greater Heroism and Good Hope on, because Good Hope buffs more things, but Heroism buffs the things that it does get better. Yeah. Once you get Good Hope, Heroism is a dead spell, there's no point in having it anymore. But while greater heroism lasts longer as well, that is true. It's hours per level instead of minutes. But in Wrath, if you're playing a bard and you're playing a buff bard, you're gonna want to get the boosted spell duration to boost everything to 24 hours regardless. So yeah, heroism does also last longer. It's 10. I actually didn't know that. I thought it was 1 minute per level. I thought it was the same duration. But like, yeah, at this point we're level 7. That's 7 minutes per cast. Like, yeah, that's over an hour of heroism, but an hour of heroism is excessive. It's not going to be necessary. That's not a bad point, Igor. Greater heroism is only minutes per level? I thought it was hours per level. Which one am I thinking of that's hours per level? Interesting that we... Oh, no, wait. Again, Cure Serious Wounds is our second choice for level 3 spells. So that's pretty consistent, and I'm okay with that. Spell focus. What do we get in spell focus? Enchantment? Enchantment, I think, is fine. How many enchantment spells do we have that are offensive? Hideous Laughter. We have a total of 1 offensive enchantment spell, and they took spell focus. We have 1 enchantment offensive spell. No, Glitter Dust is conjuration, not enchantment. Oh no. Oh, Igor, you talking about Heroic Invocation? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Igor. I'm thinking that this is intending for us to focus on best jokes. But even still... What the fuck? I would like to reiterate, we have 0 fucking points in perception. No perception. Let's focus 2 feats on it instead of skill ranks. What the fuck? What the fuck? Give me a second. 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 1 second. All right, I just need to play that real quick. I need that as like a fucking sound clip. Just play that every time something really fucking stupid happens. Yeah, skill focus persuasion would be great. Hell, skill focus knowledge arcana or world. Skill focus UMD. Any of those would be better. Literally anything would be better than skill focus persuasion or perception. Mirror image is good. Okay, I'm just moving past it. Moving past it. Blur or mirror image is really good. I approve. I like it a lot. Oh, are we actually getting... We got our second enchantment spell. We got it. We got there. We made it, ladies and gentlemen. We have won the video game. We have Dominate Person, which, by the way, only works on humanoid creatures. Demons are not humanoid creatures. What is the vast majority of the enemies that we're fighting in this video game? Those would be demons, not humans. Demons are outsiders. Outsiders are not affected by Dominate Person. If the shout spells aren't enchantment, it would be awesome. Yeah. But it does make sense that they're evocation. Like, logically, it makes sense that they're evocation. It is a little bit unfortunate. But, like, enchantment is based around, enchantment is based around crowd control. It's not based around doing damage. Like, it's a support class. Clustered shots. I actually really like clustered shots as a feat. Like, so far, like, legitimately so far, the feats have been pretty on point, except for getting both extra and lingering performance. That's a bit excessive. Beyond that, most of the feats that we get up here are pretty good. Clustered shot is really, really good. It basically removes most DR that you deal with. Look, they just don't know what the fuck they're doing with Conjuration, alright? What class was it that we were looking at that took Spell Focus and Greater Spell Focus Conjuration and then basically did nothing with it? We did get Greater Invis. I think it was Cleric, yeah. I think it was Cleric, Igor. I like Greater Invis. It's a good spell. I recommend it on most people. However, is it better than every other spell that we have access to? Hold Monster would be really good. Does Cleric get anything with Conjuration? No. Not really, no. I think the only offensive Conjuration spell that Cleric gets is Rift of Ruin. Yeah, I guess if you're using cure critical wounds to damage undead, then yeah, you would need a save DC. Yeah, Hold Monster would be good here. Serenity could be good here. Like, you want to get some kind of enchantment spells. Yeah, but here's the thing. How many undead do we fight in this game? How many undead are there actually? Almost none? Yeah. By the way, guys, we have a +8 to our perception that we could have put on most, well, we could have put 3 of these on most other classes. We have those being picked in some classes. We have archetypes based around countering those things. We have entire class archetypes based around countering Fae in this game. It's stupid, and I hate it. Hey, we got Cure Critical Wounds, so that rounds out the level 4s. We're done with that, then. Now getting Greater Spell Focus Enchantment. I'm kind of okay with that. Do we fight literally any Fae here? I think we fight a couple. but it's very, very rare. Fey archetypes are just reusing stuff from Kingmaker. I agree, it is, but that doesn't mean that they should be in this game. That does not mean that they should be in this game. Just because they're left over from the other game doesn't mean that they should be in this game. We do get slow. That's a transmutation spell. We get Arcanist Call and Greater Heroism. I don't actually know what this does. Fill your target's mind with blaring cacophony, and discordant sounds, making it hard for the target to act and concentrate. Creature gains a nauseating condition for the duration of the spell if it fails its will save. Actually, that's not bad. That's actually not bad. Yeah, no. As far as I'm concerned, that is them reusing basically useless archetypes from Kingmaker in this game, is them taking a shortcut that they shouldn't have taken. They should not have taken that shortcut. Light crossbow. I'm a little bit sad that it's not heavy crossbow because there's no mechanical difference between the two. Heavy crossbow just does more damage. But at least we got a weapon focus. It's kind of at this point that you start really running out of feats for bards. Unless you want to go into meta magics and stuff like that. It's for federated wizards that have a strength of 2. You're not wrong. I guess weapon focus is fine. And multi-shot is not for crossbows, it's for bows only. So that's fine. Also, we got Mind Fog. So this also helps us with getting them other enchantment effects working on people. So that makes total sense to have that. I approve. Like, there's a couple of missteps. Like, the perception shit just boggles my mind. I just don't understand that. But beyond that, like, everything else is not terrible. Honestly, like, now we got improved initiative. I probably wouldn't get the mass cure wounds stuff. I feel like that's a bit... Yeah, we get improved initiative. This is one of the fortunate few that we get improved initiative on. You have the cure critical wounds performance by this point. Do we really? Do we really? Wait. That's soothing. Oh no. This does use up 4 rounds of performance. But that is kind of hilarious. Huh. That is actually kind of hilarious that that's a thing. Yeah, Cloak of Dreams might be good. Dispel Magic Greater is always a fun thing. Song of Discord. Basically, I'm literally just looking for enchantment. mostly. What does Cloak of Dreams actually do? Surrounded by soporific aroma that causes all living creatures within 5 feet of you to make a successful will save each round or fall asleep for 1 minute. Sleeping creatures are helpless but wake up after me. Actually, no. I do not like this because this affects your party members. And as a ranged character, you are far more likely to be putting your own party members to sleep than you are to be putting any enemy to sleep. So I would not take this spell. You can position for it, and in turn-based, it's not as big of a deal, but in real-time combat, your party members just kind of fucking do what they want half the time. So it is likely for them to run into range of this while trying to run and shoot somebody else or something like that. It's not bad. Yeah, it wouldn't be bad in turn-based, but in real time, no thank you. Also, if you have it up, it's full round action for rounds per level. I actually didn't even catch that. Did not even catch that. Oh, hey, we got Hold Monster. What do we got here? Brilliant Inspiration. Oh, it gives you rounds per level. Whoa, wait. Okay, if any rolls in nat 20, the spell's effect ends. Okay. But for rounds per level, it gives you advantage. That's crazy good. Actually. That is a crazy good spell. And then Overwhelming Presence works really well with us focusing on enchantment spells. The thing is, the problem is, it has 4 spell descriptors. And the reason that that's a problem is the more spell descriptors a spell has, the more likely an enemy has an immunity to at least one of them. So the possibility that an enemy has, if it's just compulsion, it's not a mind affecting, not emotion, not negative emotion. If it's just compulsion, then there's only one keyword that we're looking for in the enemy's immunities. Mind affecting is a very common immunity among strong demons. Which is actually one of the reasons that enchantment builds don't do too terribly well in this game, is because a lot of the scarier enemies, and honestly just a lot of demons in general, are immune to mind affecting effects. Which is almost that's the whole basis of enchantment. Mind affecting. Mind affecting. That's a buff spell. Come down here. Mind affecting. Mind affecting. That's buff. Mind affecting. Most demons are going to be immune to most enchantment spells, which is really, really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate that it just invalidates an entire branch of spellcasting and just kind of removes an entire it just kind of removes an entire style of play from the game. Because demons just don't give a fuck about it. Also, we have Great Fortitude. I hate it. At least it's not it's not like Reflex or something, because I think Reflex is... Here, let's actually come back here. Hello? There we go. Fort, yeah. So, Reflex and Will are strong, Fort is weak, so... If they're gonna grab one of them, I would rather them grab Great Fortitude. It's not like being a fucking Arcanist with only a high will save and then getting Iron Will and Greater Iron Will, which is fucking stupid. And we could take Deadly Aim, we could get improved criticals. I would not take Snapshot. Okay. Yeah. When making a full attack with a bow specifically. Use that Master Rod from the Finian questline or go Lich and make your spells have no resistance. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that a lot of these, it's just go Lich and you win. What if I want to not go Lich? What if I want to go literally any of the other mythic paths. Also, the Lich also has a limited use for that, right? Isn't it like 3 spells per day or something like that? Also, we get Fear, which is a level 3 spell. I think there's definitely something better. Overwhelming Grief, hell, Dispel Magic, Delay Poison, Communal, any of those would have been better. And then we get Greater Shout, which is very Bard-ish. I'm kind of okay with it doing that, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. Fucking fast stealth when we don't have stealth. We have no stealth. Why are we getting... Oh my god. These are bad. These are trash. It was going so well. Like, almost all of the Bard talents are bad. Like, literally, the first one and the fourth one are the only ones that I would be like, okay. Every other one is bad. Skill Focus Perception is trash. Canny Observer is trash. Fast Stealth is trash. These two would be very good if we were getting points in Perception. Spell selection and feats have been pretty decent. Yeah, for the most part, this build is very doable. If you ignore the fact that most enchantment spells are useless against most demons. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that really just drives this build into the dirt. Is that, yeah, and then there's improved Great Fortitude. That kind of makes sense. I'm not overly surprised about that. Shadow Evocation as our level 5 here. I would probably pick Dispel Magic Greater over that. Key Shout, potentially. I mean, we already talked about Song of Discord. And then level 10. Or level 20. Finally maxed out at 24. So stupid. Neutralize poison. We got neutralize poison. Not delay poison communal, which removes the necessity for this spell to ever exist. And our last spell is Cure Moderate Wounds Mass. Alright. Alright. Yeah. You got 1 from Jack of All Trades, 3 from Skill, Focus, Perception, and 4 from Canny Observer. Wait. Jack of All Trades is supposed to do more than that, isn't it? Where's Jack of All Trades at? Where you at? Oh, it is just a +1. I thought this stacked. Never mind. I thought that, or not stacked, but scaled. I thought this was a scaling thing. Nope, Jack of All Trades is level 10. Level 10, right there. Alright, speed round. We got a speed round this this Bloodrager. Bardic Knowledge Scales, yeah, I might be thinking about that. We got 25 minutes to get through the entirety of Bloodrager. Now, I do know Sorcerer and Barbarian quite a bit better than I know Arcanist or Bard. So it should go faster just because of that. Go away. Yep, we're making a new character, custom character. Alrighty then. Bloodrager. Angel Kid, yep, boosting up that strength and charisma. Both of these are really, really good for a Bloodrager because, you know, our spells are based off of charisma. Our strength is based off of strength. Lumberjack. So athletics is already a skill that we had. I was wondering. Hand axes, battle axes, great axes. We have martial weapon proficiency, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is completely useless. Hooray! You do get a +1 bonus on fort saves, which is the high save. Yes. Aasimar is... I have yet to find a single auto build that doesn't use Aasimar. Every single one of them is Aasimar in some way. But yeah, this is useless. This is potentially the most useless background that you could check here. You prevent yourself from leveling Bloodrager because your bonus feats are fixed to bloodlines and require you to meet conditions. Huh. So 18 strength. So we have 0. I hate this. I hate dropping intelligence. It's fucking stupid. So there's a problem already. We're going to end up with an odd number. Oh, being good, picking Aasimar. Yeah. Yeah, it will lock you out of some of them. Yeah, so we're going to end up most likely with strength at a 23, which is really fucking stupid. We get athletics and perception, but we're only going to be leveling one every level. The other one is only every other level. So I'm hoping that we boost up athletics every level, and perception is every other level. Because we have a -1 on our intelligence modifier. We do start off with power attack, which I'm very okay with as a strength-based character. Celestial bloodline. Considered good align for the purpose of bypassing damage reduction. That's fine. This is actually perfectly fine. It's actually really good for a lot of the enemies. Oh yeah, monk build that literally takes the thing that gives you the improved unarmed attack feat. Yeah, I did forget about that. So we get Bless, which is fine. Conviction, what's that do? Reroll the first failed skill check or saving throw. Okay. Resistance energy, Wings of Heaven. Yeah, you get wings. Want to spell heroism. Crusader's Edge, Angelic Protection, I should say. +4 deflection bonus on AC and a +4 resistance bonus on saving throws against attacks made or effects created by evil creatures. That basically opens up a ring slot and a cloak slot. Didn't have the stats for all the feats in both bloodlines. You have to choose from both lists. Yes, you do. You become infused with the power of heavens. You gain immunity to acid, cold, and petrification. You also gain resistance 10 to electricity and fire. +4 racial bonus on saving throws against poison. You have these benefits constantly, even while not Bloodrager. Okay. Yes. But I do know that there are cloaks that are specific to Bloodragers. So that is very good at the very least.
Follow if you dare.
I don't know how good other rings would be. All right, what do we got? Literally nothing. I like it. Oh, interesting. Immediately cleave. This looks like the builds that I go with on the animal companions, honestly. Enlarge personage shield. Really good first spells for this guy. Magic armor probably, or magic weapon probably isn't going to do a whole lot. Cleave felt really shit in Kingmaker. If you only get cleave, it is. But once you get cleaving finish, it gets a lot better, especially with a very strong melee character. Yeah, and there's cleaving finish. You get true strike to guarantee that we're gonna hit. We could argue mage armor is better. Boost up that AC. Improved initiative at level 5. Oh, it's one of the bonus feats. I'm okay with it as one of the bonus feats. And then there's mage armor. Okay. Grab mage armor from somebody else. You can. Yeah, that's true. Toughness. Don't like it. I don't like it. Great Cleave is here. Already getting damage reduction. Do they get D12? That is a good question. Actually, well, here, let's find out. 74. Base value 46. Ability modifier. So level 7. It's D10. That would make sense. Sacrifice a little bit of your max health. Yeah, that makes sense. What is 46 a fucking modifier? Like, what is... Wait. That's not an actual... Oh, the first level has a full 10, right? Okay. 36 divided by 7 is still not an even number. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Because we start off with 46. Subtract 10. Oh, it's 36 divided by 6. So you get 6. Yeah. Okay. Well, hello, kitty cat. The Johnny cat. Coming in. Wanting to hang out and cuddle. Which I am fine with. So yeah, we get blessed because of our bloodline. We get resist energy because fuck it. And mirror image is also good. What would I take instead? Bull strength, probably. Bull strength would be good. Matt? Fucking. Shut your fucking mouth. So we are boosting up strength. I did forget to check that at level 4. So that's good at least. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I goofed. We are getting 2 here, and then we get a third one, so we're getting Lore Nature as our third. Okay. That's fine. False Life, I would prefer Bull Strength or Bear's Endurance over False Life. Bear's Endurance gives us, at this point, an extra 16 health, which is going to be better than almost any roll that we get. We would need to roll an 8 or better to get that 16 health. So I would much rather Bear's Endurance. And we can get that health back. It's like once these temporary hit points are gone, they're gone. Whereas with Bear's Endurance, you can heal back up that extra health. So, not a huge fan of False Life. I don't like it. There's Great Cleave, so that's a thing. We literally have 2 choices here. We have Iron Will and Weapon Focus, so Iron Will it is, I guess. So I don't really usually think about this as a like combat feat, but Expeditious Retreat on a Bloodrager could actually be really good. Help you get in and start dealing damage immediately as soon as you get into combat. Vastly increasing the amount of space that you can cover so that you can get to the enemies quicker. So I'm kind of okay. I think I would prefer Expeditious. I don't think that we should ever choose an offensive spell in this build. I think every spell should be focused on buffing your melee abilities. Hi again. So yeah, same here, Scorching Ray. This level just seems to be bad ideas all along. Although I'm not overly upset about Iron Will. Because our will save is pretty trash. And this guy getting confused or dominated or anything like that is like terrifying. We really don't want to have him turn around and start beating our other party members. So while I'm not a huge fan of Iron Will, I probably would have preferred a weapon focus here. I'm not against it. Just because of how much of a danger he is to the rest of the party if he gets confused. But yeah, I would definitely take, Expeditious Retreat here. I would take Bull Strength, Bear's Endurance. One of those two. Most likely Bull Strength. Especially if you're using them as a tank. Yes. Haste and Animal Aspect Greater. We don't have... We could just use this to boost our speed with Raptor, which is fine. That's fine. What other spells could we pick here? Doesn't stack with haste speed. Most things don't. Wait. Oh yeah, because they're both enhancement bonuses. So yeah, these do not stack with each other. But you do get other benefits from haste. You get the bonus to attack, you get the extra attack, you get the bonus to AC and reflex saves. So I think it is still beneficial to have both of these on. What I would like is I would like to have some kind of trip attack or some kind of I would like a fucking like some kind of wolf bite or something like that where I get a free trip with my attacks for animal aspect, but well. Bloodrager, we get improved critical great axe before we get weapon focus great axe. I'm assuming we're going to be getting weapon focus here. Not sold. So here we'll look at it again. Animal aspect greater is minutes per level. I think I'm aiming to trip, probably going 3 Inquisitor, 17 Fighter. Maybe. Like I wouldn't go for it on this build because there's no way to get it for free. But like this right here, this is a plus 30 enhancement bonus to speed for minutes per level. So that's 11 minutes at this point instead of rounds per level. I still think it's fine for both of them. I'm okay with it. And then we get heroism here. Yeah, a lot of it comes down to duration in my mind. Haste is like one of those ones that the duration is very, very low. So I kind of tend to not consider it. I forgot about that. I forgot about that combo. Yeah, Matt, you're completely right. Animal aspect and then master shapeshifter, and you get a +4 to all your physical stats. I completely forgot. Hold on, doesn't Bloodline get heroism free? I think you're right. I think it does. We get it for free 2 levels from now. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, because it's the bonus feat from the Sorcerer Bloodline. So yeah, this is useless, which is why it's fucking thumbs down. Not sure why they chose that. Yeah, greater magic weapon would be useful. This is Celestial. Celestial Bloodline. Oh boy. Alright. Finally get our Great Axe weapon focus. That's fine. Protection from alignment is bleh. I no longer care about Expeditious Retreat because we have greater magic, or greater fucking whatever it's called. Stinking Cloud would be good. I feel like we would need to focus too much on Stinking Cloud before it would be useful for this build. Ah, we do finally get Bear's Endurance. Vampiric Touch could potentially be decent. Yeah, Vampiric Touch, yeah. I'm actually kind of okay with Protection from Energy. Although, a lot of characters at this point... OP Relic Great Axe, yeah. Yeah. Greater Magic Weapon is still an option. Beast Shape 1 is actually not a terrible one. Wait. If we weren't focusing on Great Axes, you could go into Beast Shape 1. Animal Aspect boost your trip with Gorilla. And also get Master Shapeshifter. There is, okay, so there is actually a way to get a free trip in this build. You just need to go Beast Shape 1. Should have been used on actual Bard. Bards don't have spells, so they wouldn't have access to that. Alright, so we now have improved cleaving finish, so we have that. We get Beast Shape 2. We get Beast Shape 2, but not Beast Shape 1. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Miss Jubilost. Yeah. I never used him in my playthroughs of Kingmaker. I never used Juby. I hugely underestimated how good alchemists were way back then. So you could be a... So this is kind of a weird spell to take. Like, I was talking about the wolf, but I prefaced that with us not focusing on the Great Axe. So the fact that we have both improved critical and weapon focused Great Axe, I don't really like suddenly choosing to not use a Great Axe by going into a Beast Shape. I probably would have taken Stone Skin instead of Beast Shape. I don't really see... There's not too many good spells for that spell level for this character. Oh, well, there it is. Yep. So suddenly we have a +10 to will save because of Indomitable Will. I'm okay with that. I am actually real... What are we getting on weapon focus here? Also, we got critical focus. Get ready, ladies and gents. Get ready. We're going to start getting those, we're going to get, was it staggering critical? We're gonna get blinding criticals so that they have to make the will saves. Unarmed. What the fuck? We're just walking past that one. We're just walking past that absolute trash of a choice. Yeah, weapon focus is the only one that we can get. That is true. However, unarmed strike is not the correct choice. What you should get is actually, we should get bite. We should get bite or claw. If we got bite or claw here, that would actually incentivize using B-Shape 2 a bit. But beyond that, there's there's not really another good choice here. See invisibility. We still don't have bull strength. At this point, you're gonna have better than a plus 4 belt. Honestly, if we were doing B-Shape 1 instead of B-Shape 2, I would have been fine with bite and Great Axe. Because, like, even though B-Shape 1 doesn't have as many attacks, it has the trip to go with it. Which helps out everybody that's trying to hit that person. No choices here. We do get Crusader's Edge for free, so that's nice. Yep, there it is. What did I say? I fucking called it. Staggering critical next. Jesus Christ, these people are fucking predictable. Give me wings instead. Give me Vital Strike. No, don't give me Vital Strike. It's too late for that. Sickening critical would be nice. Lunge. Fuck this spell. Fuck this feat. Hell, improved Iron Will. Double down on that at this point. I would rather that over staggering critical. It's fucking trash. Oh, that's right. Bloodragers still have arcane failure chance, don't they? Right, they don't have anything. Only for heavy armor? Oh, okay, that's not that bad then. Guess and hammer? I wouldn't be surprised. Yep, there's weapon focus dagger. Alright. You fucking suck. There's B-Shape 1, so we have access to the trip now. First you made this was high. Oh my god, like, I can't... Here, give me 1 second, because... Yep. I do not want this alarm going off. Yeah, there's definitely a very specific pair of weapon focuses that they should have chosen, and they fucking didn't. Because reasons. Yep, there's Hammer the Gap. We got there. We got them both. We got toughness way up at level 7. They delayed it, but they finally got it. Hammer the Gap at level 19. At the very least, at least, we are a full BAB class. But still, this is a trash feat. Don't use it. It's a trap. Doesn't actually do that much. Most of the time, it's not going to do anything against enemies that you're getting those stacks on. Level 20, what do we get? Oh, we don't get anything. By the way, we get nothing at level 20. We were actually able to get through Bloodrager in 25 minutes. How climactic. Okay, so the thing is, that is kind of how most level 20s go. You don't really get any choices at level 20. You just get the capstones at level 20. Fuck off, Rocky, and this is what peak Bloodrager looks like. I do not like it. Of the three, Bard was probably the best build. Although Bloodrager could be a lot better with a couple of tweaks. Honestly, even the Arcanist could have been much better with a couple of tweaks. Like, the big one, just getting Potent Magic. If we just got Potent Magic at some point, everything else that's wrong with... fuck. My brain just completely fucking flatlined. I totally lost track of what I was just saying. Arcanist needed to stop fucking around with out of school spells, and Bloodrager needed to get its feats together. Yeah. Arcanist would have, if you go Lich with Arcanist and got Potent Magic instead of what the fuck was it that it got at level 2? Oh, it got the resistance one at level 2. Yes, Afro, it got the worst critical feat in the game. It got staggering critical. By the way, guys, I don't know if I've said this enough times over all of these videos. Don't get staggering critical. Afro, I'm gonna fight you on that. Don't even get blinding critical, because those both require saves. The other two do not. Tiring critical is just, it's fucking done. They're tired. Sickening critical, they are just sickened. Honestly, if you're gonna go for a critical feat, go tiring into exhausting. That is the best one by far. Honestly, just go black for a transmuter because it's better than just base Arcanist. I agree, now that I know exactly what you're trading off and what you're getting. Yeah. Blinding requires a fort save for it to actually set in. And as we've talked about, as has been mentioned many times, fort saves are really high in this game. Step 1, install bubble buffs. Yeah. I fought against that for so long because I was like, no, I want to have a perfectly pure playthrough of this Vigi game. No, it's a bad idea. Sitting there buffing for 5 minutes, it doesn't add to the gameplay, it just slows everything down. But yeah, guys, that's it for these three classes. Arcanist, with a couple of tweaks, could be good. Definitely requires going Lich. To really get the most out of it, but with a couple of tweaks, it could be very, very good. Bard, even without a mythic path, the Bard was okay. The biggest issue with it is just a lot of enemies are going to be immune to enchantments. There's nothing you can do about that, unfortunately. And then, yeah, the Bloodrager kind of shat the bed. It kind of shat the bed. Oh, yeah, the Bard had the 2 perception feats that it took when it had no ranks in perception, so that was real dumb. But I think that was the biggest problem that it had. Oh, yeah, and then it had fast stealth while having no ranks in stealth either. So, yeah, that was interesting. That was interesting for sure. And then, yeah, the Bloodrager kind of shat the bed with its very weird and random weapon focuses that it took. Yeah, that was strange. It should have gotten Bite and Claw to make the beast forms more viable. But Yeah. Great Axe of Ravagug. I love that one. That's the one. No, wait. Link in description is invalid. I will get you a new one. I will get you a new Discord link. Oh! Yeah, I need to fix that. Never. Alright. Yeah, if anybody wants to join the Discord, it has my go lives, so it will let you know whenever I go live here, whenever I update, or whenever I upload videos onto my VOD channel, which is actually, let me post that in chat as well. 1 second to get the link for that one. Any VODs for these streams goes on this YouTube channel. So if you miss one of my streams, or if you want to catch up on the ones that I've done already, you can go to that link. They're all on there. I upload there 4 times a week. And yeah. Plans for the rest of the week. So tomorrow we are going to be continuing on with God of War 2018. I think we got done with all of the side stuff, and we were about to continue on with the main quest. I think. I'm pretty sure we got done with all of it last week. Yeah, that's the plan for tomorrow, is to actually make progress in that video game. Thursday I will be off as usual. Friday we will be doing the Magnemite solo run in Pokemon Red. That's gonna be fucking rough, I think. Depends on what his moveset ends up being, mostly. And then Saturday, as long as I don't oversleep until 9:30 again, we will be continuing Baldur's Gate 3. Which is another game where I don't remember exactly where the fuck I am. I don't know why, but those 2 games, I can never remember where I am when I quit. Dad of War and the boy counter. What is the boy counter up to? 92. There have been 92 mentions of the word boy outside of random chest openings in that game so far. We will continue keeping track of that. But yeah, I'm gonna go because I gotta go get ready for work. I'm already 8 minutes past when I should have been offline. But yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out and watching. Thank you everybody who subscribed tonight, who joined us in this little community of ours for the first time. I appreciate y'all as always. And as always, I hope you all enjoyed the stream. I hope you all have a good evening. And I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.